Alright guys, so we're doing a flipped classroom that's going to have a look at the evolution of the Bermuda snail, and then we're going to do a field study on Friday. We'll go to the beach and have a look at some of our marine examples. So to start us off, we're looking at the Bermuda land snail because it's a good example of evolution happening over quite a small time scale. So remember, evolution quite often happens over millions of years. So we've got instances here of evolution happening over 300,000 years. So the island of Bermuda, it's located off the coast of USA in the Atlantic Ocean, and it's basically a volcano that's sunk with a large lagoon and a smaller island attached to it. Bermuda, even though it's a small island, has quite a lot of diversity when it comes to its ecosystems. So we've got rocky shores, we've got forests, we've got grasslands, and we've got lots and lots of caves that are formed, which some are saltwater and some are freshwater, but they're a good habitat for many organisms. So snails are classified into a class called gastropods, which sits inside the phylum Mollusca. And there's 85,000 species of gastropods, which means it's about the second most abundant of our animal species. The oldest fossil is called the Kimberella, and it lived 555 million years ago in Australia and Russia. So Kimberella, we call it the hypothetical ancestor, so we know that it must have been related to things like chitons, bivalves, cephalopods and gastropods, but sometimes there is enough fossil evidence to back that up. In terms of the Bermuda snail, a paleontologist called Stephen Jay Gould travelled to Bermuda in the 1950s, and he saw that there was 15 species of snails, and they all came from the one species, and they arrived in Bermuda about 300,000 years ago. And because of the varied ecosystems in Bermuda, they adapted to those different environments and became the different species over that short period of time. When we go to the beach this week, we're going to be having a look at the different snails, different marine snails that are spread across the different zones of the rocky shore. We're going to be having a look at the species variation and their abundance, as well as some of the key characteristics that allow them to be suited to the specific environments. So you guys are going to be doing 3 quadrats, and we'll work on those in the lessons leading up to our excursion to the rocky shore. Basically though, we're going to do one quadrat in the superlittoral zone, which is up above high tide, and so up there it's quite dry, very sunny, huge fluctuations in temperature, and not much moisture coming in because the tides can often reach up there. We'll do one quadrat in the littoral zone. The littoral zone is between the high and low tide marks. The animals there need to be adapted to things like waves, being submerged for long periods of time, and then being dry for other long periods of time, and then just the lack of habitat. So if it's rocks, where are they going to live, where are they going to hide, how are they going to avoid predators. And we'll do one also in the sublittoral zone, which is below the low tide mark, and we'll have a look at some of the animals that live there. Obviously these areas are covered by water all the time, so animals there need to be adapted to being completely submerged. Here are some of the animals that we're going to be looking at. So the top row, periwinkles, turbans, our whelks, warreners, they're examples of our gastropods and our snails, so we're going to be focusing on these guys as well. Chitons, oysters, barnacles and limpets aren't gastropods, but they are types of mussels, and we'll also be doing some work with those, just noting their abundance and where they're located as well.